SADC Troika calls on warring parties in the DRC to return to negotiations. And newly appointed Limpopo Premier says his experience in international affairs will help him run the province effectively. With your news update, I'm Busima Kutulela. The SADC Troika has called on warring parties in the troubled Democratic Republic of Congo to return to negotiations. This as fresh fighting this weekend deepened the humanitarian crisis in the volatile east of the country. The M23 rebels clashed with the Congolese army around North Kivu's capital, Goma. The United Nations says while the latest round of hostilities has stopped the stabilization mission, MONUSCO remains on high alert. The SADC Troika of the Organ on Politics, Defense and Security held an extraordinary summit on the political and security situation in the region, focusing on Congo, Madagascar and Zimbabwe. SADC's Executive Secretary Thomas Solomao.
Summit expressed concern over the resumption of hostilities or fighting between the government forces and the M23 and called upon the parties to stop this fighting and to go back to the negotiating table.
Meanwhile, the Troika would not be drawn into the recent disparaging comments by Zimbabwean President Robert Mugabe on President Jacob Zuma's international relations advisor Lindiwe Zulu. In the latest attack, Mugabe warned Zuma to stop his top mediator from commenting on the country's political crisis. Earlier this month, he called her a street woman. Zimbabwe is facing major challenges ahead of the July 31st poll, battling to raise the $132 million needed for the election. Chairperson of the Troika, Tanzanian President Jakaya Kikwete.
Unfortunately, the summit did not discuss that, and therefore there is no view.
Newly appointed Limpopo Premier Stanley Mathabata says his experience in international affairs will go a long way towards helping him run the province effectively. Mathabata, who replaced Kasal Matale, is a former ambassador to Ukraine. He talked about his plans.
I've been a director in that province. I've been a chief director, head of the department in that province. And I served in a parastatal, the biggest government business, as a managing director, and starting with being a COO, chief operating officer, and I was later promoted to managing director in that same province. I know that that province does not only need sort of induced domestic markets or perhaps domestic investment. You also need an injection of international or foreign direct investment.
And finally, the community of Ladysmith in the Little Karoo will today march against crime in their area. This follows the discovery of a body of a 42-year-old woman in an open field yesterday. Police say they are investigating a possible case of rape and murder. March organizer David Opperman.
About a few months ago, some of our church leaders in Ladysmith, they actually come together, you see, and they decided to organize this march of today where they want to tell especially the drug merchants in our community that enough is enough, that a community of Ladysmith are going to stand up, the church are going to come together, you see, so that our people in Ladysmith, you see, can stop this thing of the drugs between our young people.